France, for years, they have been one of the most feared teams in world football. Every major tournament begins with the same conversation. Who can stop France? With world-class stars, incredible squad depth, and one of the best football systems on earth, many fans believe France is destined to win the 2026 FIFA World Cup. And honestly, it's easy to see why. They have speed, they have experience, they have elite talent in every position. But here's the problem. Football history tells us something very different, because the strongest team doesn't always win. And when we look closely at France, we discover a surprising truth. They may be favorites, but they are far from unbeatable. To understand why France is so dangerous, we need to look at what makes them unique. Most countries depend on one golden generation. France doesn't. They continuously produce elite footballers. Every few years, new stars emerge, new talents arrive, and somehow the national team stays among the best in the world. Their academy system is one of the strongest anywhere. Young players receive world-class coaching from an early age. The result is a talent pool that seems almost endless. While many nations struggle to replace aging stars, France simply introduces another generation of top players. That's a luxury very few countries possess. And then there's Kylian Mbappe, the face of French football, one of the most dangerous players on the planet. When defenders face Mbappe, they know one thing: a single mistake can end the game. His pace is terrifying, his finishing is elite, and his ability to perform under pressure has already become legendary. The perfect example came in the 2022 World Cup final. France looked defeated. Argentina seemed moments away from lifting the trophy. Then Mbappe exploded into life. 2 goals in 2 minutes. A hat trick in the biggest match in football. Even though France lost, Mbappe proved he could carry an entire nation on his shoulders. Now entering his prime years, he may be even better than before. But here's what makes France truly scary. They're not just Mbappe. Many national teams depend heavily on one superstar. France doesn't. They have talent everywhere. Elite defenders, creative midfielders, dangerous attackers, reliable goalkeepers. In fact, some players who struggle to make France's starting lineup would easily start for many other countries. This depth becomes extremely important during a World Cup. Injuries happen, players get tired, suspensions occur. But France can rotate their squad without losing much quality. That's one reason why experts constantly place them among the favorites. On paper, they may have the strongest squad in international football, but football isn't played on paper, and that's where things become interesting. Because France has a hidden weakness: pressure. When expectations become massive, every mistake feels bigger. Nobody expects France to simply participate in tournaments. They're expected to win them. Anything less feels disappointing. That creates enormous pressure on players and coaches. Every draw becomes a crisis. Every loss becomes a headline. And sometimes that pressure can become dangerous. Football history is filled with talented teams that failed because they couldn't handle expectations. Talent wins matches, but mentality wins tournaments. World Cup history provides several warnings. Think about Spain. After dominating world football, they crashed out early in 2014. Think about Germany, world champions in 2014, eliminated in the group stage 4 years later. Even great teams eventually stumble. Success creates new problems. Opponents study you. Every team wants to beat you. Every weakness becomes easier to identify. France has done an incredible job staying competitive, but history reminds us that no team remains untouchable forever, not even the strongest ones. So who could stop France? Let's start with Argentina. Many people assume Argentina's dominance will disappear once the Messi era ends. That might be a huge mistake. Argentina has built something special: a winning culture, strong team chemistry, tactical discipline, and perhaps most importantly, confidence. Teams that know how to win are always dangerous. They may not have France's squad depth, but they possess belief, and belief can carry teams much further than people expect. Then there's England, perhaps the most criticized football nation in the world. Every tournament begins with massive expectations, and every disappointment becomes national news. But despite the jokes, England has consistently improved. They've reached deep stages of major tournaments. Their squad is filled with talent. Their young players continue developing. The biggest question isn't talent. It's whether they can finally handle the pressure. If England enters the knockout rounds with momentum, they become a genuine threat to anyone, including France. And now let's talk about Portugal, the team many people underestimate. For years, Portugal depended heavily on Cristiano Ronaldo. Today, things are different. Portugal may have the most balanced squad in their history. They have creative midfielders, technical wingers, strong defenders, experienced leaders, and talented young stars. Unlike previous generations, this Portugal team doesn't rely on one player. That makes them incredibly dangerous. In tournament football, balance often matters more than star power, and Portugal has plenty of both. Spain is another nation nobody should ignore. Many fans underestimate them because they compare everything to the legendary Spanish team of the past. But Spain remains one of the most difficult teams to play against. Their style is unique. They control possession, they dictate the pace, and they frustrate opponents. When Spain finds rhythm, even elite teams struggle to take the ball away from them. Add a new generation of talented players, and suddenly they become serious contenders once again. If France meets Spain in top form, it could become one of the toughest matches of the tournament. But the biggest threat to favorites isn't always another giant. Sometimes it's an underdog. Every World Cup creates surprises. A team nobody expected suddenly catches fire. A nation with little pressure starts believing. And before anyone realizes what's happening, they're knocking out major contenders. Underdogs play differently. They're fearless. They have nothing to lose. That freedom makes them dangerous. Favorites carry pressure. Underdogs carry opportunity. And in football, that's often a powerful combination. This brings us to France's biggest challenge: consistency. At their best, France looks unstoppable. They can dominate elite opponents. They can overwhelm defenses. They can decide matches in moments. But occasionally, they become vulnerable. They lose concentration. They waste chances. They allow opponents back into games. In league football, you can recover from a bad performance. In the World Cup, you can't. One poor match can end everything. One mistake, one red card, one missed penalty, and suddenly a favorite is heading home. That's why predicting World Cups is so difficult. The margins are incredibly small. Despite all these concerns, France remains one of the strongest teams in the competition because they possess something every champion needs: match winners, players capable of changing games instantly. When tournaments become tense, moments matter more than statistics. One brilliant pass, one incredible goal, one moment of magic. Champions are often remembered not for domination, but for decisive moments. And France has players who consistently deliver those moments. That's why opponents fear them. Even when France isn't playing perfectly, they can still find ways to win. Great teams always do. So can anyone stop France? The answer is yes. Not because France is weak, not because they're overrated, and certainly not because they lack talent. France can be stopped because football is unpredictable. That's what makes the World Cup special. The best team doesn't always lift the trophy. The team that survives pressure, injuries, mistakes, and chaos usually does. France has everything required to become world champions, but so do several other nations: Argentina, England, Portugal, Spain, and perhaps a surprise team nobody's talking about yet. That's why the race remains wide open. France may be the favorite, but they are not invincible. And that's exactly why the 2026 World Cup could become one of the most exciting tournaments we've ever seen. Who do you think will stop France? Or will they lift the trophy once again? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more football documentaries, World Cup predictions, and stories from the beautiful game. Thanks for watching.